Years ago, Karl Marx suggested that the interests of the owners and the workers were irreversibly opposite to each other. Today, in an industry that wasn't even in existence during Marx's time, something similar seems to be playing out. Work from home in IT sector became popular during the COVID era. Companies too were very happy to hop onto the bandwagon, making grand promises of how working from office would soon be a thing of the past. 2 years on, however, we have an entirely different picture in front of us. Instead of leaping headlong into the so called work from home model, companies are busy rolling back whatever remote work facilities they had rolled out over the last 3 years. How is this new move sitting with employees? Are they happy to return to their offices? What do they think of their employers' newfound enthusiasm for office based work model? We find out in this episode of Work Matters.
Work from home in the IT sector was never something that the workers actually fought for. Before the pandemic, only a small proportion of companies offered liberal work from home options. But the pandemic changed all that. With entire countries under lockdown, there was little that large IT companies, some of which had 500,000 employees, could do. They were forced to offer work from home to employees to ensure that business would continue to run, both for themselves and for their clients. Initially, it was all hunky dory. After all, their workforce had been well trained during the previous years, and they could seamlessly switch to the new model of work. Buoyed by the initial success, companies couldn't figure out why they hadn't thought of this splendid idea before. After all, it could save them billions of dollars in operating cost if they didn't need to maintain offices and infrastructure. Moreover, employees too seemed very happy. For them, the new work method came with significant benefits, including more time to spend with their loved ones and avoiding the dreaded daily commute. This has also helped employees save more as they no longer had to live in crowded and more expensive cities and could move back to their hometowns.
Playing with the pets, watching a series in between the work. I enjoyed work from home a lot compared to the work from office.
People who have family and kids back at home, it would be really helpful for them to pamper them or get to their regular stuff, and it would be easy for them.
With so much good news around work from home, it was forgivable that some companies got a little carried away and declared that the days of commuting to the office daily was over. However, as time went on, the limitations of the new model started becoming more apparent. To be fair, these were the kind of drawbacks that the CEOs could not have anticipated. These had to do with some invisible advantages of the traditional office based model. These advantages were overlooked when it was declared that the office model was dead. Chief among these was the passing on of knowledge and culture to new joinees. With their senior peers working from their homes, new employees who joined during the work from home era did not get the on the job training that their senior colleagues got. Companies started appreciating the importance of on the job training, the kind that you get through multiple interactions with your office colleagues every day. Without this, new joinees were showing considerable delays in evolving into competent work professionals. It was not just skills and knowledge that older employees used to pass on to newer joinees. It is, for want of a better term, often called the company culture. Each company has a culture that lives among its employees, which is not written down in any corporate document or dossier, but is passed on through imitation and casual instruction. Companies realized that without this unwritten code, work would not flow smoothly. Finally, the lack of direct social interaction was also changing employees' social lives. Working from home often came in the way of them forming new social bonds with their co workers. Such bonds, which often flower into friendships, contributed to the overall satisfaction that an employee obtained from their work. Under the new model, people were forming social bonds where they lived rather than where they worked. Hence, devoid of such attachments, there was little to hold back a newly joined employee from hopping from one company to another, chasing a higher paycheck. While companies did not spell out this aspect of work from home culture, the apparent lack of loyalty among such employees was one of the key reasons behind their worries. Because of such reasons, many of the companies have taken a U turn on their earlier proposals of moving to a remote work model. For example, India's largest private sector employer, TCS, home to nearly 6 lakh workers, recently said it plans to call everyone back to office. TCS was the poster boy of the work from home revolution. 3 years ago, the company announced that by 2025, only 25% of their employees would be working from office at any given time. Understandably, all this has irked the workers who do not relish the prospect of getting into the daily grind all over again.
Most of the IT employees who work for the clients outside India. If there was there is no option of this work from home, right? So the employees should be struggling a little bit. Like they have to work from office as well as go back to home and connect and do all these client calls.
I think hybrid model works the best, and it's in benefit of employees, and definitely organization trust their employees, and they have productivity reports to see if things are not working, to decide on whether to go with this model or not.
If my shift is 4 to 1, I have to get ready for before 2 o'clock. It will take like 14 to 15 hours for total travel.
It saves a lot of time for me, and I can be more productive because I don't have to waste 2 to 4 hours of my commuting time.
At the same time, it's not like employees are completely deaf to the concerns of the management. They realize that a pure work from home model comes in the way of dissemination of knowledge and culture. While this may not be a big issue for employees who have already picked up the necessary professional and social skills, they accept that it may be a problem for the new joinees.
That's completely work from home. I wouldn't really say fine for it, because people would definitely miss this kind of environment. There are partially people who would give nod for working from office as well. So initially, like down the line, 6 months, if they work from home, get to know the process. I'm talking only about the freshers. And after that, if they go back to home knowing the process, it would be fine for them.
Most employees are in favor of a hybrid mode of work, where they spend a fixed number of days per week at home and the remaining at office. They are opposed to the idea of going back to a complete work from office model.
I think totally scrapping that thing, where employees cannot work from home. I don't support that. Just even if it's a one-day working from home, it gives us a lot of flexibility, in terms of sometimes managing work-life balance. We have some late-night calls and all, so we can stay at home for that particular day or manage work, because we work for US clients, and then that helps us. And Bombay traffic, everything is so much. So sometimes it becomes really nice to be working from home.
Some pointed out their own successes in implementing the hybrid model. They highlighted how it has helped improve both productivity and employee satisfaction by setting apart some days for coordination and other days for focus.
We are more productive and we get a lot of things done. Besides that, it allows us a lot of time to focus on our well-being. I'm running more often, going to the gym more often.
So as you saw, employees are not rooting for a full-fledged work from home model, but they're definitely rooting for something like a hybrid model of working, which would guarantee them a better work-life balance. But are the companies listening? We will find out soon.